Four, three, two, one.
All right. Whoa. Whoa. Everyone's throwing in money. Tazem, thank you for the 179 pounds sterling. She's saying, hey, Shauna. Well, I'll say, hey, Shauna, too. Hey, Shauna. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Secret Studio. I'm back. We're starting a little early because we have a lot of work to do today. A lot of work. Poppy's being a handful today, says Miss ESL. You know, I think we should get a little look at Poppy. Miss ESL is sending regular updates on Poppy now. And this picture was just too cute. This is, I believe, Mr. ESL with Poppy. And look at that. Someone loves daddy. That's what I think there. It is super cute. Is Mr. ESL still celebrating his birthday month? Did we get that figured out, Miss ESL? Is that still going on? Gwen says, my cats are being a handful this afternoon. I don't know what you're talking about, Gwen. We never have that problem around here. Welcome back, Anya Levinovskaya. We've missed you, Anya. Welcome back. Roger Pike, hello to you. I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. We've got to fire through things today because I had a little bit of a scheduling change, and that's going to affect someone that's in the chat right now. So let me apologize in advance. Catherine, I know I told you your script was coming up today. Unfortunately, because of me taking next week off, in case you guys didn't catch it at the end of Brain Scratch today, we are going to be off next week, but Seriously Mysterious is still going to come out. I had to switch to a 2-episode Seriously Mysterious. So Catherine, please accept my apologies. When we get back after we take next week off, so the following week, we will be doing your script. In the interim, we're going to be doing a squipt, a willy good squipt. We're going to be doing a script from Gwen Rants, and it's one that originally clocked in at 12,000 words. Now, just so you guys know, a typical episode of Seriously Mysterious is 3,000. So that would have been 4 episodes long. Yes, squipt, Crystal. That would have been 4 episodes long. I worked and worked and worked at it. It is now a 2-parter, which I think basically what happens is if you break them up into too many pieces, there's just the audience trails off in the later ones. So I tried to consolidate and kind of pull all the critical information together into 2. It was a lot of work. I can't help it. I'm an overachiever. I know. I mean, you started writing a book is what you started doing there. Booty Oody Oody's here. Ah, it's one of my favorite things when I can say Booty Oody Oody on the chat. Welcome back, Booty Oody Oody. Hello, Lane. Hello, Fred. Family of Guardians. You're right. I better do some deep breath, diaphragm training exercises. Yeah, so I did get it down to 2. So it's just over 6,000 words at this point, but that's still 2 full episodes. Now, if you remember, we blew up the chat's going so fast I can't. What? There we go. Anya, hi. We blew up the ding counter last time. I don't even know if I kept keeping track. It's at 25. Debbie wants to know how many dings for that squipt. The ding counter is currently at 25. I'm going to try to do both scripts within that 25. We blew up, says Miss ESL. Yeah. No, you're right, Miss ESL. I blew up. Coffee Somebody tosses in 3 at the ding jar. Fred, is that you? I think that's someone else because usually it says like coffee user or something. Shauna Blackwood, thank you. I don't know why it would say Coffee Somebody. That's so weird. Thank you, Shauna. And a big thank you to our moderators, of course, CoffeeBot, We've got Miss L. We have Catherine Pear. We have Christy Arnhart. I think I've got you all. Thank you, mods. Happy Friday. Oh, the man. What's up? Did you go to Comic-Con? Haven't seen you in a while. Boom. No, Gray, I didn't go to Comic-Con. Rub it in, Gray. Would have loved to be there. No, it's been a while since I've gone to the big one. I do go to small ones that are kind of local to me and hit my microphone, but didn't make it to the big one this time. We've been talking about it. I think we will be doing one coming up soon, but it's a whole thing, Gray. Like, even just getting tickets to it, you have to get in a lottery like a year before. I don't even know how they do it at this point, but before it was a lottery. Basically, if you didn't get your name in for the lottery on the first day, like, you had no chance. They did have this thing that once you got in, you could kind of rebuy your way into it. So we did that a couple times. Mike says that was a spooky sound. Was it, Mike? It was a little spooky. One thing real quick. Maybe you guys can tell me if it's working or not. I did try a new captioning tool. I know we have some people that are hard of hearing. I have it turned on, and apparently what it does is it actually just routes it right through YouTube. So the closed captions that you turn on there should be coming from me. I don't know if they're good. I don't know if they're bad. I don't even know if it's working because I don't really have a way to test it. Ding Jarrett Coffee, Gen 417 with 10. Thank you so much. And she had a message on that I would like to read. We got more coming in. Oh, there's Gray's 10. Celebrating all the good dogs willing to take a bullet for us. Jen, seriously. Can you believe that? Not just having... Okay, if you guys haven't watched today's Brain Scratch yet, please do. Which, by the way, I've never been to a Grateful Dead show. I've only, like, kind of casually understood what that culture is like from afar. But there's something about it that just really grabs at my heart. There's just something about that type of community. You know, like my stepdad, he was an old hippie from back in the day. So I don't know. There's stories like that. We've done a few of them on the channel over the years that really just kind of grab me. But that one, I even mentioned you guys in the episode because I'm like, hey, if you've been to the Secret Studio, you know that we appreciate our pets. To hear about a dog trying to fend off these home invaders and takes a bullet for his owner. Thankfully survives, but loses his leg. And then the other dog, their other dog, goes chasing after the guys when they run out of the house. Amazing. Aren't our pets amazing? As a matter of fact, this is Lunita from Julie Meekum. Look at her beautiful eyes. Vanessa Dearman kicks in $19.99 in Super Chat. Vanessa, thank you so much. Look at Lunita's beautiful eyes. We also have Lola from Noelle Beeler. I don't remember if I showed Lola last time, but it was so cute. I'm like, I got to show this just in case I missed it. Really appreciate that. Yeah, thank you so much, Vanessa. And... little something from Christy Arnhart. This is Iggy and Sebastian in a super, super cute photo. I love this photo. Look at these two. Speaking of which, Christy, shouldn't I be getting some new pictures from you? Some new kitty pictures, I think. Okay, well, let's see. We've got stuff we got to do. There's Vanessa Dearman's $19.99. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Okay, you guys saw it here. She's promising. Kitty pics. New kitty pics. Coming from Christy Arnhart. What's up, Badger, Badger, Badger Poppy? Hey, do we know, is it working, guys? Is the, I want to see, maybe I can just turn on the video real quick. Take a look and see if the closed captions are, like, populating or... All right, you might hear a double on me really quick. Muted that. All right. No, it says it's unavailable. Well, I guess now we know. All right, I've got another one to try for next time. But that bums me out. It's built into the software I use. I did a bunch of research on it. They just said, just turn this on and it'll show up in the closed captions in YouTube, and I'm not seeing anything there. All right, I'll keep at it. Really wanted that to work. Mariana +2. I think I missed your 199. Thank you so much for that. Diana B, Northwest Girl. Thank you for the 2. Hi, John. Hi, Secret Studio crew. She threw in a red shoe. I love that. So on top of doing 2 episodes today, if we can crank them out fast enough, I guess it kind of depends on me. I know Miss ESL is pointing at the screen right now. We might have a new feature. At the end of the show. So hang in there. We're still going to do a GeoGuessr. Maybe, depending on time, maybe a little something special after that. In order to do that, we got to press along. So let's get to the next segment. How about it's time for our weekly appreciation of Patrick Swayze. And I'm going to include a reading from the Good Book of Swayze, also known as Being Patrick Swayze by Neil E. Fisher. Neil, amazing work. Thank you to Mrs. Brain Scratch for gifting us all with this book last week. Lesson number 1. Find balance in all facets of your life. The first element in appreciating Swayze represents the balance that he carried over from his life into his roles. Not like Johnny Castle balancing on a log or balancing on a surfboard like during the 50-year storm, R.I.P. Bodhi, but closer to the concept of yin and yang, or contrary forces that are complementary. If you look at the famous roles just mentioned, you can see that they possessed a tender strength. Johnny Castle was street smart and tough, but he also wore his heart on his sleeve. Bodhi had his own Zen surfer philosophy, but was a hardened criminal, and yet you wanted to follow him. Swayze himself was equal parts stoic and sensitive, machismo and grace, and possessed just the right amount of swagger and vulnerability, not often seen in his cinematic counterparts. Whether he got it from his father, Jesse, whom Swayze referred to as Gentle Cowboy, or he picked it up along the way, achieving balance was no doubt, his X factor. Absolutely. One other little thing, I ran into an article, and I don't want to rehash the whole thing because it sounds a lot like one that we just did a couple weeks ago. You remember a couple weeks ago we did a Swayze News about a big Hollywood actor that was offered the role of Ghost and said he didn't get it? Like, not that he didn't get it, he just didn't understand what the story was about. That man's name was Harrison Ford. Another one came out last week, and now Bruce Willis is piping up saying, yeah, they passed me that script too. I probably should have done it. Bruce Willis? Really? I think that reading points out why it worked so well for Swayze. Could it have been Harrison Ford? I guess. But Swayze had that thing where he was also like a heartthrob. And Harrison Ford, like, I think maybe around Star Wars, maybe. You tell me, ladies out there, did you have pictures of Harrison Ford up on your wall? Like that you took from Teen Beat or something like that? Bruce had a little bit, from what I remember, had a little bit of like the sex appeal, heartthrobby thing going around Moonlighting, but like quickly came out of that. Like pretty much as soon as he locked in that kind of smart alecky hero, like that was it. And I don't think he stayed in that spot. I think Swayze really hung in that spot for a long time, and that's part of what made it so good in terms of working for Ghost. Indiana Jones, yeah, but was that a heartthrob character? I don't know. Like, did you young ladies have pictures of Indiana Jones on your wall? Misty Kate says, I love Moonlighting too. I loved that show. And I was a kid when it was on. There was just something about it that was really fun. And it was his character. There was definitely an aspect of his character. But oh, Misty Kate, you did? You had Indiana Jones on your wall. Taz M. Indiana was hot. Okay. Crystal says, I became an archaeologist. Christy says, I still have a crush on Harrison Ford. Hey, he's a handsome man. I just don't know that it's... I mean, is it Patrick Swayze heartthrob level? I don't know. Lane says, no. I had Who posters. Doctor Who? I don't think she's talking about Doctor Who. All right. Moving right along. We got to get to our next segment. True or false with... What's up, everyone? It's TCP. TCP, showing off my purse. I've been working... I don't know if you guys know this, but I've been teaching a self-defense class lately, and I want to show you my wicked skills. I call this the Persicopter. You ready? Let's see if I can do it. Come on, all the way around. Come on. It worked once before. There we go. Somehow John Lorden just hurt his neck. All right, guys. She's back. TCP. True Crime Potato for any of you that don't know. All right. We've got 2 true or falses, and then we've got a multiple choice for the last one. Let's do the... Actually, we'll throw the multiple choice in the middle. This is an interesting one. Get ready to vote in the chat, everybody. True or false? Woody Harrelson's father was a Secret Service agent who nearly prevented the death of President John F. Kennedy. True or false? Woody Harrelson's father was a Secret Service agent who nearly prevented the death of President John F. Kennedy. What do you guys think? Woody's daddy. Secret Service agent. True or false? Taz says true. Shannon? Hi, Shannon. Nice to see you. Says true. Crystal says, wasn't he a murderer? Anya says, I thought he was a criminal. Nader thinks it's true. Ray says hello. What's up, Ray? False, I believe, says Felicity. Daddy Woody, says Mariana. I'm still trying to swing that purse. Come on. Up around. Oh. False, says Aaron. He was a murderer, says Vegan Vampire. You guys seen that stuff on... You know, you can't believe everything you see on YouTube. False, because no Secret Service man would have prevented it, said Fred. Fred. We know Fred loves the JFK. The JFK conspiracy. Lissy Cat says the operative word is nearly. Okay. Well, let's see how you guys did on that. We got 50 votes in. 62% say true. 38% say false. False. Actually, whoever said this, I think it was Crystal. Harrelson's father was an assassin who murdered a federal judge and claimed to have had a hand in the Kennedy assassination. But that last part, widely discredited. So he's trying to say he had something to do with JFK, and people are like, no, you didn't. But apparently he did assassinate a judge. Casey Schaefer, thanks for the 3. I hope you're having a nice summer too. It's beautiful out here. I'm getting a little color. I better not be out here too much. I'll be baked. Just look it up, says Kelly. Yeah. Not your best look, John. What? Jeannie, you being evil? All right, this one's going to take me a second to type up because we've got multiple choice. First time we've done, I think, a multiple choice like this. Mhm. Give me a few more. Just one more second. All right. The continent with the highest literacy rate from the ones in the list. Ones we have listed. Did it go through? Where is it? There we go. Antarctica, Asia, Europe, North America. Highest literacy rate. True crime baked potato. Spencer holidays in Colorado. What do you mean, Lissy? Not nowadays. I'm hearing from everyone the weather's just crazy. Everyone is cooking right now, right? Crazy high temperatures everywhere. Hi, Kubi. Okay, I'm going to give you guys about another 20 seconds here. So far, we've got Asia in the lead, followed by Antarctica, Europe, North America last? Guys, really? Sassy Georgia Peach says North America 1000%. Evil Genie says Las Vegas burnt, I'm sure. Oh my goodness. 116 in Arizona today, according to Miss L. Wow. 60 votes. 43% of you said Asia. Asia came in as the winner. It is actually Antarctica. Why? Since the only people living on Antarctica are scientific researchers, it makes sense that the adult literacy rate is 100%. Isn't that weird? Is it I'm the daughter of John Lorden, True Crime Potato? All right. One last one. Another true or false. True? False. True or false? Samuel L. Jackson once held Martin Luther King Sr. hostage. True or false? Samuel L. Jackson, you know him, once held Martin Luther King Sr. hostage. Miss ESL with some facts. In the developed world, North America is amongst the lowest for literacy in adults. Yeah, unfortunately, I definitely believe that. Chris Gideon thinks false. Psychic Reverb thinks true. This is so possible, says Liliana. Charleston Amy's here. Change name back to Charleston Amy. Oh. Amy CHS seemed cryptic. I didn't put it together either. Senior, says Lane S. Yep. Senior. In a movie, probably. Billy Boy Blue thinks false. It's senior, for sure. Yep. No, we're talking senior. Just a few more seconds. We got 55 votes in there. Close, though. 45% true. 55%. Oh, it's nudging. 47% true. 53% false. Pretty close to an even split with 57 votes. It's actually true. During his college days, Jackson was part of a group of students that held the Moorhead College Board of Trustees hostage. Ooh, there's more to hear about that story. I got to check that out. Among the hostages was Martin Luther King Sr. Interesting. That's a really interesting story. I'm surprised we haven't, I'm not more familiar with it, but I will be later. All right, everyone. That's your time with True Crime Potato. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you again soon. Bye. Okay. bring things back down a little bit. We got work to do. 2 scripts. We're going to go all the way through them. Can we do it in less than 25 dings? That is the question. Let me fix the chat in the ding counter real quick. There we go. We will need it for the ding pyramid. I am certain of it. Bye. Hi, Teresa. Okay. We are recording. Got my ding counter button close by. There we go. Let's get to work. You guys ready for another script from Gwen? Dingless, says Aaron. Still love that. Take care, Miss ESL. Billy Boy Blue. Thank you so much for the $10. He says, John Lorgan is my man. Tell Kubi I said hi. Definitely. It's okay that you... I like Lorgan, actually. It sounds like a character from Game of Thrones or something. Lorgan. Appreciate it, Billy Boy Blue. All right. Here we go. We are recording, right? Yeah. Lois Arquette, commonly known by her pseudonym Lois Duncan, was once a popular writer of young adult fiction. She dominated the suspense and thriller portion of the market at an astonishing capacity with her many titles, including, but not limited to, Killing Mr. Griffin, Don't Look Behind You, Summer of Fear, and a little something that you might have heard of. That was so good. I was starting off so good. Sir Lorgan the Dingless. And a little something that you may have heard of called I Know What You Did Last Summer. These novels were all written in the 1970s and 1980s, and towards the end of that time frame, Arquette was living a comfortable life with her husband, Don, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, their 5 adult children having each left the nest to pursue their own dreams. In the early 90s, the author shifted her focus from writing novels about death and fear centered around young female protagonists to writing lighthearted storybooks for small children. Some might say it was a bizarre change of pace for such an esteemed writer, but the explanation for this shift, sadly, lies in the title of her very first non-fiction novel, published in 1992, called Who Killed My Daughter? On July 16, 1989, Lois Arquette's youngest daughter, Caitlin, was driving home from a friend's house when an unknown assailant fired several shots into her car, murdering her in what was later determined to be a random act of violence. I'm John Lorgan, and today we're looking into how this seriously mysterious event and the questions surrounding it not only changed the course of Arquette's career, but the rest of her life, as she fought to uncover the identity of the person who had taken her child. Using the only means she had, her research and her writing, Lois found that every question that she looked into seemed to only deepen the mystery. This led to a second book about Caitlin's case being published. Julie Meekum, thank you so much for the 5. And Julie, I didn't know you weren't here earlier, but look who showed up. Lunita. Thank you so much, Julie. This led to a second book about Caitlin's case being published in 2013, an astonishing 21 years after the publication of its predecessor. Its title, was just as blunt as the previous installment. One to the wolves on the trail of a killer. Caitlin Claire Arquette, called Kate by most, was the youngest of 5 children, and in the first few chapters of her first book about her, her mother uses a variety of very telling adjectives to describe Kate's multifaceted personality: mischievous, stubborn, funny, smart. A month before her high school graduation, 18-year-old Caitlin had moved into her first apartment in Albuquerque with her boyfriend, 26-year-old Yoon Wen. I'm going to take a ding there because the sentence continued, but I ended it. 26-year-old Yoon Wen, who she had been dating for a little over a year. Caitlin worked at a nearby Pier 1 Imports and had recently been accepted to the University of New Mexico. She was taking college courses over the summer in preparation for her full-time enrollment in the fall. One of her many dreams was to become a doctor. Charleston Amy, thank you so much for the $9.99. Appreciate you. At around 6 p.m. on July 16th, Kate stopped by her parents' home. In the opening chapter of Who Killed My Daughter, her mother ruminates on this short visit, attempting to pull anything unusual about that evening from her mind. She recalls pointing out to her daughter that it looked like she had recently been crying. Initially, Kate tried to blame her tears and the puffiness around her eyes on the rain, claiming that it depressed her. Oh, thank you, Badger Poppy. Hello, John and Lord and Arts fam. R.I.P. Caitlin Arquette. Thank you so much for the $5. When that explanation clearly fell flat, she confided in her parents that she and Yoon had been fighting the night before, and she was still pretty angry and upset about it. According to her mother, she stated in regards to her relationship that this living together business is a crock. Things were a whole lot better when we were just dating. Yoon's friends were over all the time, making her first apartment feel less like a home and more like, in her words, a crash pad for half the Vietnamese in Albuquerque. While she claimed to have expressed... All right, let's take a break. I need my mouth to warm up. Autumn Fall says, I say we hit 50 dings. There's a chance, Autumn. There is a chance. It's Ding Pyramid time. Let's see it. There we go. And they're off. Psychic Reverb just getting in there. Boom, boom, boom. Lane throwing some, what is that? Wraps? Burritos? Crystal Donovan, fries and bells and hearts. The Butterfly Foot. Thank you for the $9.99. Thanks for everything you do, John. I can't do it without you guys. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Butterfly Foot. We got shrimp and fries, Fred? Is that on the menu tonight? Evil Genie likes the potatoes. I do too. Misty Kate getting the artwork together for TCP. TCP t-shirts coming soon. She's already promised it. All right. While she claimed to have expressed to Yoon that she would prefer it if he moved out, she told her parents that he refused to, stating that it was his apartment too, despite the fact that his name was nowhere on the lease. Kate blamed his... I'm really having like simple trouble with words. Come on, John. Kate blamed his stubbornness on his upbringing, claiming that he still didn't understand how things worked in America, but adding that she'd given him an ultimatum to move out by the end of the month. Kate was planning to go to the home of a new girlfriend, Sharon. The two were planning on having dinner at Sharon's house and getting to know one another outside of work, where they had initially met. She expressly told her parents that if Yoon called looking for her, not to tell him where she was. Later. I'll see you guys later. Those were the last words that Lois and Dawn Arquette ever heard their youngest daughter say. Hours later, just before midnight, a call would come from the University of New Mexico hospital that would turn their entire world upside down. Caitlin had been injured, but the woman who called had refused to give more information over the phone. When they arrived at the hospital, Caitlin's parents were greeted with the news that their daughter had been hurt in her car. At first, they thought this meant that she'd been... Billy Boy Blue is back with another 5. Lord and Rules. Real talk. Thank you so much. I pressed the button, but I didn't hear the ding. Do you guys know if the counter went up? Do I owe you one? Evil Genie says ding. I'm seeing the bells, but I don't know if the counter went up or not. Okay. I can always trust Autumn Falls. Thank you, Debbie. Okay. What's up, Frazzle Cat? Okay. When they arrived at the hospital, Caitlin's parents were greeted with the news that their daughter had been hurt in her car. At first, they thought this meant that she had been involved in an automobile accident, but further clarification revealed a horrifying truth. Their 18-year-old daughter had been shot in the head and was clinging to life. From what could be determined, Kate had arrived at her friend's home at around 9:30 p.m. At 10:45 p.m., she backed her red 1984 Ford Tempo out of the driveway and left, heading along Lomas Road in the general direction of her parents' home. When she pulled up at the intersection of Lomas and Northeast Broadway, another car had likely pulled up beside her, firing into the driver's side of Kate's vehicle. Her car then drifted across 3 lanes of oncoming traffic before finally crashing into a light pole in the 400th block of Northeast Lomas Road. The next day, police spoke with the Arquettes, explaining that they'd found handwritten directions to Sharon's house on the floorboard of Caitlin's car and had already reached out to her. They were also preparing to speak with Kate's boyfriend, Yoon. Although her mother knew that the relationship had been nearly over, she advised the officers to give him the news as gently as they possibly could. Thank you so much, Kathleen. Appreciate you. As far as her injuries, Kate had actually been shot twice. One bullet had passed through her cheek, the other through her temple. Doctors informed her family that if she managed to survive, her quality of life would be considerably diminished. If Kate managed to wake from her medically induced coma, she was not facing a road to rehabilitation. She was facing a future of round-the-clock medical care. Caitlin's family was left, waiting for her condition to change so that the doctors could determine more. At some point, Yoon eventually arrived at the hospital, standing morosely by Kate's bedside and stating quietly, "This is all my fault," while one of her brothers did his best to reassure him that just because they'd been fighting didn't mean that he'd caused this to happen. Caitlin was a good girl, with no enemies that they could think of who would want to harm her in this way. She didn't drink. She didn't do drugs. She was an employed college student who had been with the same person for over a year. Who could have done such a terrible thing to such a good person? After 20 hours in a medically induced coma, 20 long hours, during which those closest to her had to slowly come to terms with the terrible truth that lay before them, Caitlin was officially declared brain dead. Her family then made a decision that should never have to be made for somebody so young. On July 17, 1989, Caitlin Claire Arquette left the realm of the living. Her organs were donated, her funeral arrangements were made, and her family was left in shambles as her death was officially ruled a random act of violence by local law enforcement. Commercial break. Woo! Man. What's up, Zombie Sauce? I remember this. It was the summer before 5th grade. We were living on base at the time. All right. After Caitlin was taken off of life support, her family allowed Yoon to stay with them for a while until he could figure out his next steps. While Kate's parents saw a young man lost and confused about how to proceed, it wasn't long before information came to light that set off some alarm bells in the minds of Kate's siblings. Apparently, a friend of Kate's had confided in one of her sisters that Yoon had eventually that Yoon had allegedly been involved in some kind of car insurance scam out in California. This information shocked their mother. From what Caitlin had told the family, Yoon was one of the many Vietnamese boat children who had fled the communist regime in their home country following the end of the Vietnam War. While Yoon had been briefly employed when he and Caitlin had first moved into their apartment together, his inability to speak English fluently had become a significant barrier, and he had been let go. As a result, he was primarily living off of the money that his older sister, who lived in California, had been sending him. Could he really have turned to a life of crime? The worried mother still wasn't sure what to believe when Yoon approached her later that day saying, "I got problems, Mom." That's a really good point, Naders. I hope the 20 hours gave them some comfort to say their goodbyes. I don't know if you're in that mindset at that time because you're still, hoping for a miracle. I don't know. But you would hope so. I mean, if nothing else, they got to, I'm sure, hold her hand or even just be close like that. Yeah. I mean, how many of us have a loved one pass away and just dream for having just one more minute just to let them know in some way how we care about them. Okay, so Yoon approached her saying, "I got problems, Mom." He had gone to Kate's apartment and the manager had already changed the locks. He wanted to sleep there again to, as he put it, smell her cologne on the pillow, like roses. She was appalled. Yoon had been living at that apartment too. His belongings were there. She made a call to the manager of the Alvarado Square apartments almost immediately, and the conversation that followed was something that likely stuck in the writer's mind for a long time. While the apartment manager was certainly sympathetic, he explained to Kate's mother that he couldn't allow Yoon back into the apartment unless it was to retrieve his belongings with somebody's supervision. When asked why, he said, "Because that guy's bad news," and elaborated that it had become obvious to him that something nefarious was taking place. According to him, at one point, Caitlin had come over and asked him and his wife if she could sleep on their couch. Another time, she had asked him to change the locks to keep Yoon's friends out, which he had done, only for them to break a window. Once, when Kate had locked Yoon out directly, he had supposedly kicked in the apartment door. This information shocked Arquette, who was standing only a few feet from Yoon while she was on the phone. Remaining as composed as she could, she explained to the anxious young man that he couldn't legally stay in Kate's apartment, but that one of her sons could help him get his things. She also added that perhaps it was a good idea for Yoon to go stay with some of his friends. I can't imagine taking that kind of phone call with him standing right there. Hey, Jessica B. Later that evening, with the young man successfully having been removed from the house, Lois Arquette revealed what the apartment manager had said about him to her family. It wasn't until one of her daughters brought up what she'd heard from Kate's friend that her husband Don put together some puzzle pieces that Lois hadn't considered. At one point during their relationship, Kate and Yoon had gone to Disneyland. While they were in California, a rental car company had called the Arquette residence to inform them that a minor accident had occurred. Nobody had been hurt, and the company had simply contacted them because the credit card that Kate had used to rent the vehicle was in her parents' name. When asked, Kate had simply told her parents that Yoon and his sister had been rear-ended while they had been going out to pick up food, that the rental car had been insured, and that they had been able to easily exchange it for another vehicle. Was there really a possibility that Kate had accidentally wound up involved in this alleged scam business, and that her pending breakup from Yoon had been seen as some sort of liability? It made sense, at least in theory, to Caitlin's parents. The Arquettes made the decision to call the police and tell them this information, to see what they made of it, despite the protests of a few of their children. If there was a possibility that Kate's shooting had been something other than random, If there was a possibility that Kate's shooting had been something other than a random, tragic event, it needed to be looked into thoroughly by trained professionals. Those trained professionals included Detective Steve Gallegos. Gallegos? Or Gallegos? Let me double check that. Gallegos, maybe? Gallegos. Gallegos. There you go. Have a way. Gallegos. Go Legos? Go Legos! Oh, let's see some beautiful artwork from you people. I don't know. Gotta try to keep it under this 25 dings. I don't know. It's going okay. It's going okay, but I'm a little behind already. Double ding. Ooh, Lane, Space Invaders. Lane speaks my language. Fred Crook throwing up a brick wall. There's all kinds of crazy stuff going on there. Lissy Cat. Love that one, Aaron. That's kind of like Aaron's running like with the theme of the secret studio there. That's awesome. Watermelon Sunrise going for a TCP pyramid of their own. Nice job. More pressure than GeoGuessr, says Naders. That's true. Although, I don't know. Sometimes I feel the pressure when I know it's on the screen and you guys are all yelling at me and I can't find it. All right. So go Legos. Is that what we decided? Gallegos? All right. Those trained professionals included Detective Steve Gallegos from the Albuquerque PD Homicide Department, who met with the family at their home to discuss this new avenue of investigation. Caitlin Arquette's funeral was attended by so many people that those who couldn't find seats in the chapel were simply standing in the aisles during the service. Classmates, teachers, family friends, former babysitters, and even children whom Kate herself had once babysat gathered to commemorate the vibrant life that had been lost much too soon. Both of the major newspapers in the area, the Albuquerque Journal and Albuquerque Tribune, covered the funeral. The Tribune's article opened with the announcement that police had now begun searching for a vehicle in relation to Caitlin's case. Specifically, this vehicle was missing an engine cover and had a particularly loud muffler. The police chief at the time, Sam Baca, stated plainly, "We're not saying the Volkswagen is a suspect's car. It was seen around the area at the time of the shooting." For Lois Arquette, that day passed in a haze, becoming only slightly clearer once she, her family, and several of the funeral attendees arrived back at her home. The house was overflowing with people, very much as the chapel had, all of them abuzz and emotional. After a while, Yoon found her there and asked if she had any medication that would help him sleep. At first, she was resistant, but eventually relented and gave the grieving young man 2 Valium, instructing him to take one then and one before bedtime. He asked for the rest of the bottle, but Arquette denied his request. The following evening, a shocking announcement was made on the local news. Yoon, had been hospitalized after stabbing himself in the stomach with a 4-inch knife. According to the report taken by the police on that evening, he'd been staying with friends and, according to those friends, chose to end his life because he was depressed over Caitlin's death. He also believed that both law enforcement and Kate's family suspected that he had killed her. Lois arranged a visit with Jung at the hospital, hoping that perhaps she could work whatever he may have known about Kate's death out of him. He was still groggy and very much reeling from the effects of the drugs that his doctors had put him on. She spoke with him for a short while and explained to him that no matter what had happened, Caitlin forgave him. When Arquette asked if he knew what Kate was forgiving him for, Yoon reiterated that he had not shot her. Lois then informed him that if he knew who had, he needed to make the decision to tell the authorities. A weary Yoon closed his eyes and simply stated, "I know. I am deciding." Almost immediately, Arquette placed a call to Detective Steve Gallegos and... Gallegos. Man. No, you're not supposed to share Valium for sure. Almost immediately, our case? Come on, John. Here we go. Almost immediately, Arquette placed a call to Detective Steve. Almost immediately, Arquette placed a call to Detective Steve Gallegos, and when she informed him of how her conversation with Yoon had gone, he arranged for a similar conversation to take place back at the police station. He wanted Lois to interview Yoon, and when she nervously asked how to go about doing this, the detective told her to do what she had done in the hospital room. This time, she brought with her a stuffed reindeer that Yoon had given Caitlin the Christmas before her death. She emphasized how thoughtful and sweet of a gift the reindeer had been and how much her daughter had appreciated it, how much her daughter had appreciated him. Despite his previous willingness to open up to her, when Lois eventually repeated what she had said to him at the hospital, Yoon remained silent. As suddenly as he'd appeared with the I'd be lucky to get out of this first script at 25. That's not true. We're almost at the end of the first one, but give me a challenge. Giving me a challenge. As suddenly as he'd appeared within the Arquettes' lives, shortly after those interviews, Yoon Wen left Albuquerque to live with relatives at their home in Kansas City, relatives whom the Arquettes had never even heard about. Please join us again on next week's episode as we continue looking into the murder of Caitlin Arquette, her grieving mother's journey for answers, and an answer to the question, was this a random act? Do you have any insights or even a case you'd like to suggest? Feel free to send it to me. You'll find a comment form and case submission link at lordandarts.com, or you can follow and message me on Twitter at lordandarts. Thank you, KRQE, KOAT, the Albuquerque Journal, lawandcrime.com, unsolvedmysteries.fandom.com, BuzzFeed, and the books Who Killed My Daughter and One to the Wolves. Of course, a huge thank you to Lois Duncan and the Arquette family for information contributing to this episode. This episode was written by Gwen Berenger, is edited by John Lorden, and produced by Lorden Arts. You can hear more of Gwen's work on her podcast, A Light for Erica. Learn more at facebook.com/A Light for Erica, and that's spelled ERICKA. I don't exactly know how I'm going to do this. So I'm just going to thank you guys on both, or thank half of you on this one. Maybe that's what I'll do. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. We got 3 coffees. Casey. Mike, thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Mike. Thank you to our audience here for the live recording session hosted on the Lord and Arts YouTube channel. Special thanks to Seriously Mysterious financial supporters: Shauna Blackwood, Jen417, Casey Schaefer. Someone else getting in there? Frazzled Cat with 20. Frazzled Cat, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Let's see here. All right. So I guess I'll do like 5 more. Yeah, I'll take it up to gray. And then we'll do the rest on the second episode. Taz M, Diana B, Northwest Girl, Mariana +2, and Gray Hughes Investigates. Most of all, thank you for listening, and I hope you found today's episode seriously mysterious. I'm John Lorden. Please join us again next week for the conclusion to this story. Woo! Well, I need a minute, and in that moment, I think just for this first episode already, how about some claps for Gwen, everybody? Did she set it up or what? Amazing. Keep it going. Awesome work. And the only thing I can think of, I keep getting in my head about it a little bit, Gwen, is I hope that you're not listening to this going, oh, John, you're missing this piece and missing this piece. I know. Like, guys, this is Gwen's writing. Every piece of it is good and worth being in there. It was like heartbreaking to go through this thing and try to figure out, like, how do I cut this down? I'm still trying to think of, like, I would love to release the whole thing. It would literally be an hour and 20 minutes in its original form. I just don't know what format to do that in. But, I mean, it could be an episode of Case Cracked. That would be a super long episode of Case Cracked. Gwen says, oh no, I'm like, you took this part out and I totally understand it. Well, I'm good. I mean, that's part of the very difficult job of taking such good work and trying to keep the soul of it together while you're working it down. But all right. Okay, let's see here. Just making sure the chords are staying moist. There's a very good chance we might go a little long. I hope you guys hang out. And, you know, I'm still thinking. I really want to show you that new feature. So we might go even a little bit longer than usual. Might push an extra half hour or so. We'll see. If you guys want to. It's kind of up to you. But Patreon special, Case Cracked. I mean, it would totally work for Case Cracked. I mean, an hour and 20 minutes of Talking Head John, or trying to fill it in with all like the different clips, like video clips and stuff that we do. Like it's just, I mean, basically, Gwen, you wrote a movie. I mean, think about that. You really did. The idea of a Patreon special isn't bad, because then it's really, yeah, it's like the super fans at that point, the people that know and already appreciate your work. And it's like, hey, here's the long form version. Yeah. All right, here we go, guys. I'm going to stop recording on the first episode just so the files are manageable. Start recording again. All right. Hey, look, we've done episodes at 11 dings or less before. It's possible. It's possible. Here, okay, let's do this. I just need to write a little something in here because I'm missing the show name. I'm John Lorden, and welcome back to Seriously Mysterious. Today, we're picking up where we left last week off. Caitlin Arquette has been tragically shot in her car, leaving her brain dead and her family having to make one of the most difficult decisions imaginable, taking her off of life support. As her mother, Lois, investigated and questioned Kate's boyfriend, Yoon Wen, it seemed like answers were close, but Yoon then moved away, leaving the state. After his departure, most of the members of the Albuquerque Police Department went back to considering the shooting to be random, a tragic act of violence that cost a spirited young woman her life. Lois Arquette, however, felt that there was something more to her daughter's death, and those 3 well-placed shots into the red Ford's driver's side door were anything but random. It wasn't until over a month later, after a trip to Cape Cod for a writers' conference, that Lois Arquette finally allowed herself to shed tears for the child that she had lost so suddenly and unexpectedly. She penned small poems about Kate, snippets of memories and thoughts on paper that not many others would understand. Life resumed with an agonizing slowness, the mechanism of grief slowly working its way in stages through her body, mind, and soul. What amazing writing, like Gwen. Man, that was so good. Like you feel it, and if you've been through it, you know exactly what she's talking about. It just... Lois and her husband Don went through their daughter's things, sending some items to close family and friends, and keeping whatever they couldn't bear to part with. They divided up the morbid after-death tasks, and while Don handled the retrieval of Kate's car from the police and its subsequent sale to a local scrapyard, Lois dealt with all of her paperwork and bills. It was while doing this that she uncovered a shocking piece of information. Kate's final telephone bill from the apartment showed that 3 phone calls had been made to phone numbers in Orange County, California, around the time that Caitlin had been taken off of life support. Yoon had not been in the apartment at that time. Lois recalled that quite clearly. He was at Kate's bedside with her family. Who then had placed these calls to California, and why? Lois recognized one of the phone numbers. When Kate and Yoon had gone to California on their Disneyland trip, Kate had given her mother a telephone number that she said belonged to Yoon's sister. There it was, plain as day, on the phone bill. She rushed this new piece of information to Detective Gallegos. Gallegos. Oh, goodness. Frazzled Cat. I just saw your 20 kick by there. Thank you so much for that donation. I think I said thank you before. If I didn't, I feel terrible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What could this little mystery feature that I keep talking about? Can I give you guys a little hint about it? Watermelon Sunrise? Seriously, this guy's name will break the record today. I know. Yeah, maybe he won't come up too much anymore. I'm just going to start saying Detective G. Okay, good, Frazzled Cat. Oh, this extra feature? Fluff might be a fan of it? Maybe? I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there. I know Christy Arnhart is screaming at her screen right now. John, get your head in the game! Jeanette, I'm trying. Galagos. 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 There's like, I don't think it needs the second L. Because that's Gal-Legos. Galagos. Like when you say, hey gal, that's just G-A-L. That's the problem. There's one L too many. Told you guys it wasn't my fault. She rushed this new piece of information to Detective Galagos, but the detective informed her that Yoon didn't have a sister in Orange County. In fact, to their knowledge, he didn't have a sister at all. During this meeting, Gallegos also informed her that the department was no longer looking at what had been popularly deemed the Vietnamese connection in relation to Kate's death, and that the case was moving in a different direction. As it turns out, this different direction was fueled by an alleged eyewitness account that had been given to the police by a trucker. He claimed that a gold Camaro had fired those fateful shots into Kate's car. This trucker also stated that he had not witnessed a simple drive-by shooting, but a high-speed chase that had ended in bloodshed. The working theory was that a pair of Latino men had likely attempted to flirt with Kate from their vehicle. When she had been unreceptive to their advances, they had gotten angry, chased her down to scare her, and fired the gun. Not only was this a completely different story than the one that had been previously suggested by law enforcement, to Kate's family, it was terrifying for Lois to consider that her daughter's last moments may have been spent in genuine fear for her life. Also concerning were the tactics. Also concerning were the tactics used in questioning this particular witness. He had been hypnotized. Although testimony given under hypnosis is technically admissible in court, it does somewhat affect the credibility of the witness. The shocked and saddened mother contacted family members after this meeting to inform them of these recent developments, but not everybody was convinced that two men had just randomly chosen to shoot Kate for blowing them off. Lois wasn't entirely sure that she believed this story either. The mysterious phone calls to California that had been placed when Kate was being taken off of life support, the fact that Yoon's sister, who wasn't his sister, had been sending him money, and the statements from Kate's landlord about how she had been desperate to keep Yoon and his friends out of her apartment all pointed to a completely different possibility than the lead that the police were now chasing. Lois Arquette was not, historically, a believer in psychic phenomena. She was a realist, somebody who believed in evidence over instinct. This seemed to change when she eventually met in person with a psychic named Betty. Lois shared Betty's information with family, but they were cautious not to pass it to law enforcement. Somebody, though Lois never found out who, thought that perhaps Betty's information was reliable enough to be sent to the Albuquerque police in the form of an anonymous letter that claimed there were people out there who knew much more than they were willing to tell about the murder. This sparked a conversation between Lois Arquette and a homicide detective named Sergeant Lowe, who seemed to take a renewed interest in what she had to say. Lowe suggested that perhaps a new media appearance by Arquette could be beneficial in gleaning further information from the general public. A spokesman for the local Crime Stoppers program appeared alongside both Arquette and Sergeant Lowe, stating, "This person is probably afraid to come forth with information for fear that what happened to Caitlin will happen to him. I want to assure him it won't." The media appearance stirred the public's interest in Caitlin's murder for a short time, but eventually, Lois Arquette once again found herself calling the Albuquerque Police Department on a regular basis, hoping that at the very least they had finally traced those mysterious phone numbers on Kate's final bill to their sources. They had not. Arquette met with Yoon after he returned from Kansas City to give him some of his belongings that they had stored for him. He was distant and didn't give her an opportunity to speak with him alone. She slipped a letter in amongst his belongings in which she begged him to come forward if he had any information related to Caitlin's murder. He later turned that letter into the police, claiming that he was being harassed. In November, Crime Stoppers received an anonymous tip that identified 4 potential suspects in the case. Over the next several weeks, more tips came trickling in from community members, many of them implicating the same men. At last, in January of 1990, less than 6 months after the death of Caitlin Arquette, a shocking announcement was made by the Albuquerque Police Department. After pursuing the Camaro lead and speaking with a police informant, 3 men had finally been arrested. 18-year-old Miguel Garcia, 18-year-old Dennis Martinez, and 21-year-old Jose Hernandez had been turned in by the aforementioned informant, a 16-year-old named Robert Garcia. Robert Garcia told investigators that he had been on a joyride with the three older men, and that they had been making a U-turn near the railroad tracks on Lomas when things suddenly became deadly. It was then that the men allegedly saw Kate driving her red Ford along the road. The driver of the Camaro, Hernandez, had dared Miguel Garcia to shoot at the other vehicle. According to the initial affidavit, Garcia then pointed a dark-colored revolver at the blonde female driver through his passenger side window, which was open, and fired several shots. The arrests were made on Wednesday, January 17th. Police seized two .22 caliber pistols and a .22 caliber rifle, along with ammunition from Garcia's residence, and a brown Chevy Camaro that was purported to be the vehicle that had been driven during the shooting. And a brown Chevy Camaro that was purported to be the vehicle that had been driven during the shooting. The two men, hello. The three men were subsequently arraigned on murder charges the following day, and the news hit the papers and TV stations by Friday the 19th. At last, it seemed as though justice would be received for Caitlin Arquette, and that perhaps the Albuquerque Police Department's investigative work had finally paid off. Unfortunately, as time dragged on, massive holes began to appear in the story that had been woven by Robert Garcia, with the most glaring discrepancy being that the alleged star witness had in fact been incarcerated in a juvenile detention center at the time of the shooting. Placing him at the scene of Caitlin's murder was literally impossible. When this fact became known to the media, police assured the general public that this would not affect their case against the other three men because the information that led to the arrests was validated and corroborated. Although this statement made it seem as though things were heading in the direction of a conviction, as the days passed, the case against the three men slowly began to crumble. One by one, they were released, and the district attorney eventually dropped the murder charges due to lack of evidence. Throughout the initial debacle surrounding the three Hispanic men, Arquette had been wrestling with the nagging feeling that there was more to the insurance fraud story, the so-called Vietnamese connection, still weighing heavily on her mind. How, she wondered, did the three men, who had supposedly been out for a joyride, fit into this puzzle? The answer to that question came in the form of a woman's voice over the phone, an anonymous tipster who claimed, "Your daughter's not the first person those guys have killed. Garcia's shot people before. He does it for pay." The dots connected in Lois's brain, and she began to... Yeah, a lot of three men in this. Speaking of which, I think the uncovered format kind of feels a little bit... It reminds me, at least, producing it of three men, but it's one man and two women. How about that? I consider it an upgrade. Gotta get some ladies. Gotta get some ladies' voices on these cases. I'm very proud of that collaboration, by the way. It's coming along really well. We just filmed episode 2 this week. They are a very good resource. The dots connected in Lois's brain, and she began constructing her own theory. If Garcia had shot Kate as part of a contracted hit, somebody would have had to pay him. That somebody would have needed a reason to want Kate dead, and as it stood, the only reason she could see involved keeping her quiet about what Yoon had done in California. When she mentioned this possibility to the authorities, however, her claims initially fell upon deaf ears. In the book, Who Killed My Daughter, Lois Arquette mentions that when she told Sergeant Lowe her theory, the detective told her, "You're going to have to face up to the fact that your daughter was in the wrong place at the wrong time." Hurt by the sudden brush off, a determined Arquette set about writing a letter with a list of reasons why she believed that the possibility of Kate being a victim of a murder for hire was legitimate. She mentioned the insurance fraud scam, how Yoon had insisted at one point that "this is all my fault," his statement to her about deciding to reveal who had killed Kate, and once again brought up the mysterious phone numbers on Kate's phone bill. She also listed several phone numbers that belonged to friends of Yoon's and friends of Kate's. When she was finished, Lois hand-delivered one copy of the letter to the Albuquerque Police Department and mailed another copy to the This might be the last pyramid. Might be, if I can keep it together. Oh, really, Autumn Falls? Yeah, you know what? We did do a mic adjustment on Rachel's mic. Yeah. She's using the same mic I am, but the settings were different, which I picked up on right at the start of our recording session, so we changed that. So let me know next time. I think it'll be better. Felicity, you can send use the addresses for the pet pictures. What's it? Pets@lordandarts.com. Pretty much anything at lordandarts.com will get to me. So you could even send it to art@lordandarts.com. That should come through just fine. All right. I can't complain. That was a good run. That was a really good run. Can I keep it together? Can we keep it under 25? Let's do it. Thank you, Miss L. And mailed another copy to the FBI office in Orange County, California. In mid-Feb... Maybe I can't. And mailed another copy to the FBI office in Orange County, California. In mid-February, Sergeant Lowe called the Arquettes to inform them that the Albuquerque Police Department had changed their minds and were willing to explore the possibility that their motive could involve a connection to the insurance fraud. Although they were unable to find a concrete connection during this time, the authorities then opted to take a different approach to work towards a conviction. They rounded up alleged witnesses, people who claimed to have heard Garcia and Hernandez confess to the murder of Caitlin Arquette at different times. Eventually, they had successfully gathered enough statements to convince the DA to bring the trial before a grand jury. A month after the charges had originally been dropped, Jose Hernandez and Miguel Garcia were formally indicted on charges of first-degree murder, shooting at an occupied vehicle, evidence tampering, and 3 conspiracy charges related to each count. At the time, Garcia was already in police custody on charges unrelated to Kate's murder, but when the time came to arrest Hernandez, there was a problem. He was nowhere to be found. This was unexpected, as the police had mistakenly assumed that since Hernandez was on parole, he wouldn't dare skip town. Months passed as the hunt for the fugitive ensued. While the police assured the Arquettes that they were doing everything within their power to locate the fugitive, the hope that Kate's family had been holding on to, that the men would be tried, was steadily waning. Lois and Dawn were shocked when in the spring of 1991, they were summoned to the office of the then District Attorney Robert Schwartz. Schwartz broke the news that while he still firmly believed that Hernandez and Garcia were responsible for Kate's death, the charges against the 2 men were being dismissed. The witnesses, it seemed, had begun to retract some of their statements. In Schwartz's words, they became pretty much unusable, and he believed it likely that they had been intimidated over time. This seemed to be the series of events that really lit a fire beneath Lois Arquette. Since the investigation being done by the police had taken such a distressing turn, perhaps it was time for Arquette to continue investigating on her own. She had contacted a local investigative journalist by the name of Mike Gallagher, who had taken this assignment and ran with it, even going as far as tracking down Yoon, who by this time had been back in Albuquerque for a while, and following him around to observe his day-to-day activities. Gallagher, it seemed, had eyes everywhere, and even so, none of those eyes seemed able to none of those eyes seemed able to firmly connect the dots between Wen, Garcia, and Hernandez. In a 2014 BuzzFeed article, it's mentioned that Yoon did eventually confess to law enforcement that he had participated in insurance fraud on the West Coast. He also admitted that the phone calls from Kate's apartment were made by a friend of his to the paralegal in California who had been helping coordinate the accidents. When asked if anybody in California would have wanted Kate dead for knowing about this, Wen's response was a straightforward no. In 1992, Lois Arquette finally put together all the information that she had collected about Kate's death, from police reports, newspaper clippings, psychic readings, and quoted conversations. This culminated in the release of Lois Duncan's first nonfiction novel, Who Killed My Daughter? The book received a substantial amount of press, with many being shocked by Lois's foray into psychic phenomena and her willingness to explore alternative means of investigating her family's tragedy. When asked what he thought of the book, the Albuquerque PD's chief of investigation said simply, "I don't read fiction." For years, the police held on to Kate Arquette's file, but did very little with it. Meanwhile, Lois Arquette had continued to diligently do what she could to keep her daughter's story out there. She appeared on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries to discuss Kate's death, and had taken to recording information about her daughter's murder through a new outlet that was still very much in its infancy, the World Wide Web. While this was certainly a far cry from the internet we know and use today, it served its purpose in allowing the Arquette family a platform through which to ask some of the questions that haunted them most deeply. The website, katearquette.arquettes.com, is still up and running. Though over the years it's taken on different formats, it has never wavered from its ultimate goal, keeping the public invested in Caitlin Arquette. Sympathy and well wishes poured in from Arquette's devoted fans and people who were just discovering Caitlin's case through her book. Tips crossed over, each cataloged and looked into, very few leading any closer to resolution. One to the Wolves was Lois Duncan's last published work. She passed away in her home on June 15, 2016, of undisclosed causes, though it's been noted that she had several strokes in the years leading up to her death. Perhaps she received the answers that she had so fervently, there's that word I never use. Goodness. Perhaps she had received the answers that she strongly. Perhaps she received the answers that she so strongly sought in the afterlife, but the rest of the Arquette family had to wait until August of 2021. Over 32 years had passed since the shooting that had claimed Kate's life when a startling statement was suddenly issued by Albuquerque Police Chief Harold Medina. He told the public that a person who had been picked up that July on unrelated charges had not only confessed to Caitlin Arquette's murder, but the murders of 2 other young women in the late 1980s, along with several rapes. That person was Paul Apodaca, an individual that officers had originally interacted with when they first stumbled upon Kate's red Ford on that fateful July night. Over the next several months, a twisted tale was pieced together in the media surrounding Apodaca's actions, and a new term was put into play regarding Kate's death. Given the nature of the crimes that he had committed, Paul Apodaca was, in fact, a serial killer. He claimed his first victim in the summer of 1988, a 21-year-old University of New Mexico student named Althea Oakley. His second victim, a 13-year-old girl named Stella Gonzalez. Apodaca has also confessed to shooting a woman in the face as he was driving. That victim, still unnamed in the media, miraculously survived. Then there was, of course, Caitlin Arquette. Apodaca admitted to being at the scene, and according to KRQE News, he claimed to have been driving around this... 25. All right, this is it. Straight through to the end. He claimed to have been driving around the whole city with a rifle, just looking for a target of opportunity. He found that opportunity at a red light on Lomas Boulevard when he spied Kate in her red Ford. I had raised the rifle, Apodaca said in his statement, and I shot at her. He watched as Kate's car went skittering across the road before crashing into a light pole, then got out of his vehicle to go see what condition she was in. He encountered a plainclothes police officer who had just stumbled upon the scene. Apodaca claimed that this detective took down his name, phone number, and license plate number, and that he simply drove away. Weeks later, a female APD officer came to his home and asked him about the murder. To his knowledge, that had been the extent of the investigation into him. Nobody had ever connected him with Kate's death until a private investigator named Pat Caristo, who reached out to Lois after seeing her discuss the case on television, tracked Well, we broke it. Man, I was so close. Who reached out to Lois after seeing her discuss the case on television, tracked Apodaca down while he was doing time for rape in 1995. And what was Apodaca's motivation for these heinous acts? Apparently, he had a long-standing hatred towards women, saying in his statement to police, "Growing up, I saw men treating women bad, and they go for the bad guys. I try and be nice and be good, and they just didn't want that, so I was jealous and had hatred." August 19th, 2021 would have been Althea Oakley's 55th birthday, and instead, it was the day that charges were formally filed against Paul Apodaca for her murder, and he was indicted by a grand jury. The same followed for the Stella Gonzalez case that October, and finally, on February 24th, 2022, Paul Raymond Apodaca was officially indicted for the murder of Caitlin Arquette. All three charges cite willful and first-degree murder, and future legal proceedings are slated to take place over the course of 2022 and into 2023. After the Arquette indictment, Albuquerque PD released a statement with part of it reading, quote, "While Paul Apodaca confessed to the killing, this case required a comprehensive review as a result of the publicity that has surrounded this case for 3 decades. Our most seasoned detectives conducted a thorough investigation of all facts and evidence to ensure we were charging the man responsible for this senseless death. We will continue to work with the district attorney to ensure we get justice for the family of Caitlin Arquette and the entire community." With the information given to her by Pat Caristo, Lois Arquette had included Apodaca on her website's list of possible suspects for quite some time, as far back as the late 90s. Given what we now know, that he was the first person at the scene, that he drove a Volkswagen Bug, and that he had a history of violence toward women long before he'd happened upon Kate, it is both seriously mysterious and seriously frustrating as to why he had not stayed on the Albuquerque Police Department's radar in connection with the case. Had it not been for a sudden change of heart that led to a confession, Caitlin Arquette's police report would just be sitting in a box somewhere, untouched for more time than Kate herself spent alive. Do you have any insights, or even a case you'd like to suggest? Feel free to send it to me. You'll find a comment form and case submission link at lordandarts.com, or you can follow and message me on Twitter at lordandarts. Thank you, KRQE, KOAT, the Albuquerque Journal, lawandcrime.com, unsolvedmysteries.fandom.com, BuzzFeed, and the books Who Killed My Daughter and One to the Wolves. Of course, a huge thank you to Lois Duncan and the Arquette family for information contributing to today's episode. This episode was written by Gwen Barringer, is edited by John Lorden, and produced by Lorden Arts. You can hear more of Gwen's work on her podcast, A Light for Erica. Learn more at facebook.com/A Light for Erica, and that's spelled ERICKA. Thank you to our audience here for the live recording session hosted on the Lorden Arts YouTube channel. Special thanks to Seriously Mysterious financial supporters. And I know one came in and I missed it. I'm so sorry. I'm going to thank you right now as soon as I get to it. Robert Martin, happy Friday. Thank you so much, buddy. Happy Friday to you. All right, so Robert Martin, and then everyone under gray. Okay. Robert Martin, Vanessa Dearman, Billy Boy Blue, Julie Meekum, Charleston Amy, Badger 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 Poppy, The Butterfly Foot, Kathleen Poulter, Mike W., Frazzled Cat, Meegs. Meegs, it was you. Thank you, Meigs. And Meigs, most of all, thank you for listening, and I hope you found today's episode seriously mysterious. I'm John Lorden. Please join me again next week. That didn't sound right. I'm going to give myself another ding. How about that? I'm John Lorden. Please join me again next week. Woo! Gwen! We did it! We did it! And we blew up the ding counter together, Gwen. I am John Lording. Claps for Gwen, everybody. Goodness. It's not often we do 2 episodes like that, but honestly, Gwen, I feel really good about how that came together. Like, my attention, I was hooked through that whole thing, and that doesn't always happen. Like, I've got a lot to think about and all this stuff that I'm managing. This story, especially for some reason, part 2, it just like I just zoned in on it. Super, super good. All right. Ooh, goodness. Oh, thank you so much, Gwen. Oh, it's a great collaboration. I'm very proud to be working with you. Goodness. 28. All right. For 2 scripts, that's not bad. Average 14 each, especially when the last one I hit 25 just on 1 script. I'll take it. But I'm the big loser for the day because I broke the ding counter. Say bye-bye, ding counter. No? Staying around? Okay, there we go. And claps for Detective Gallegos. That would have made the difference. That would have made, if I would have just done a little, and I looked up that name once before, but for some reason it just didn't stick. If I would have just practiced that a little more. By the way, did you guys see? Look at this. Yeah. I got a ding pyramid on me as I'm making a ding pyramid with you guys. Ding pyramids everywhere. And now pet pics. It's an evil genie. Oh, goodness. Now we got other stuff to do still. But, I probably could use a little tiny bit of a break. And I've got this thing. It's Friday, right, guys? You guys have drinks? Pour yourself some drinks. Show me some drinks in the chat. I think I might grab just a little scotch. A little bit of scotch. I'll be right back. Miss me. Won't be long. 2 minutes max. I almost don't want to turn it off. These pictures are so cute. Look at these. All right. 30 more seconds. I'm gonna leave it on 30 more seconds. Oh, my glass is too big for the cup holder in here. What the? I guess I'll just have to hold it. Maybe a little lower. So. No police out there, is there? Goodness. Lane? Are you here, Lane? Hello, Daniel? What's in the glass? Johnny Walker Black. It's a good sipper, and I like when it waters down a little bit. Just grabbed myself a ginger beer, says Zombie Sauce. Nice. Lane. What the? Bug flying around me. All right. Pass him up. Pass him up. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hey, there we go. I usually have my hat on, Fluff. Now he's really comfy up there. Cat to dog ratio was too high, says Evil Genie. Well, when we started, we were pretty much only showing cat pics, and then the dog pics came in later. The folder that those pictures come from is all the ones that we've previously shown on the show. So yeah, you're right. I know the cat ratio is a little high on it. Okay, I have looked. I have a few different categories. A few different categories for us to consider here. Where's Fluff, says Naders. Fluff is on my head, Naders. See? Fluff. Are you a little behind, Naders? Did you pause it for a second? Where are we going is the name of the poll. What are the options? This one sounds weird. I'm just putting it in there as an option. The name of it is Guide to Utility Poles. I don't know what that can mean. I'm wondering if they're going to be like trying to show us the different international utility poles. Next option, 198 capitals of the world. So I assume that will be capitals. Might be a quick and easy one. I don't know. Last option, a famous world. Here are your choices. Mullet Mayhem, are you tired? Should I speed up a little? I know I do look super red. There's some type of color tint that happens when I throw him on. But it's also like blurring out my my wrinkles and stuff, which I don't hate. I'll be honest, I don't hate it. You make a good point though. Let me see if I can brightness. Doesn't really change the color. These do have color selectors. Ooh, it made me more red. Really red. Let's push it to blue. How about this one? Yeah, that knocks it down a little bit. I love that. Look, you could see his little paw print shadows on my head. I don't think I've ever noticed that before. We're keeping voting open for another 30 seconds. We got 39 votes in there. Utility Poles is in last place. I had a feeling. It just sounds super weird. Like I don't know what to expect about it. That's why I threw it in the mix. 198 capitals of the world and a famous world are neck and neck. You tweaking up there? What's up? What's up, kitty? Is Anya still here? Yeah, Anya is still here. Oh, she's saying capitals must be easy. Oh, you guys. It's 39. Okay, good. I'm ending the poll now because it was tied. Oh, but I didn't see which one won. I think it was a famous world. Yeah, here we go. A famous world. Yep. Famous world is the winner. Let's do it. All right. Famous world. That looks like a famous building. It's the Vatican, right? Am I crazy? St. Petersburg? It is? This big square? Russian flag. Oh, that's a very good point. It's a very good point. Anya says St. Petersburg, Russia, Dvortsovaya Square. I'm sure I butchered that. Okay. I have no idea where St. Petersburg is. Is it close to Moscow? Oh. Is it up here where it says St. Petersburg? It's St. Petersburg, says Mike. We have consensus. Now I just need help locating the square. Near Finland. Yep. I think I'm on the right one. Winter Palace. Okay. Don't know if it's going to come up on here as Winter Palace. Zoom in. Okay. What is this? That's a museum. There's another museum. There's a theater. The Peter and Paul Fortress. The very center. Oh, it's right where it says St. Petersburg? Right in the city center? Is that it? Isn't that what Anya said? Alright. Fluff. It's in this area, Fluff. Third blank. 1, 2, 3. Fluff wants it here. I think it's a little further to the left, but we'll see. Oh! State Hermitage Museum, but still not bad. Only 1.8 miles off. 4,992 points. That's a good start. What is this? We can't walk. Greece? I think this is the thing we're supposed to be noticing, I think. I mean, down here is just kind of a courtyard. Tibet? No, Greece. Tibet. Tibet monastery for sure. I know we've seen like the multiple flags at the monasteries before. Lead alive things. Italy? Uh-huh. I don't think that's Italian. Evil Genie, that's what I thought on the last one. Is that a callback you making? Not Italy. Zoom in on the flag. Yeah, I'm trying. It's just, that's as much as I get. But it's not one flag. I think there's a few up there. I think. China, asks Autumn Falls. Tibet seems to be the popular vote. Where is it? Where is Tibet? Help me, I'm lost. It's right here. I have to do everything. Near India. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know if... Go for Lhasa City, says Mike. Okay. We're doing it. Fingers crossed. Here we go. Hey, nice call, Mike. Only 1,625 yards from the correct location. 4,996 points. Isn't that the score we got last time? Take it. Awesome job. You guys are so good. Taking off, Evil Genie. Take care. Reach over to the passenger seat for a second. Russia again? Russia? Nah, wrong deity. Car tag, is it an EU plate? I don't know. And it is rectangular. I don't know if it's wide enough. Especially on the back. I don't know. I think aren't they wider in the EU? These pictures have been like low quality on this game. There's something on the building. There is, but I mean the zoom on this is just, it's killing. Ah, if we could just read that. Blue stripe is missing for it to be EU. Got it. Oh. Could be. Catholic country, judging by the mosaic. Have I seen anything from Anya on this? Anya? Any idea? That's a Christian Orthodox church. Hungary, Turkey. I can move. Let's do a little walk here. We can get closer to it. Oh. I can move and it wants to walk off into the snow. Oh, look at these people. Just ask them. Is Google hovering above their heads? Could also be Ukraine, Romania. Oh, here we go. Hey, we got somewhere. We got higher quality image for sure. Wow, look at that. It's beautiful. I'm a sucker for lights. It's an interesting sign. Ah, we've run out of movement. We can't go any further this way. Ah, Anya was doing her research. It's Orthodox Church of Alexander Nevsky in Tallinn, Estonia. Wow. Some good research there. Listen to Anya. I know, Lissy Cat. Okay. Help me find Estonia. I'm not super familiar with it. I think we've had it once before, but my brain is not. Where is Estonia? Right, Kira? Isn't it? It's in here? Is that right? Top of Eastern Europe. I was close. Not that close. Okay. Okay, we found Estonia, so now I just need to know where in here. Anya is amazing. I'll agree with that, absolutely. She's, like, her geography is just off the chain. Tallinn is north. Oh, there it is, right there. All right. Boom. Can we get 4,996 points? 4,997. We got 1 point better. That's the Anya factor right there. 969 yards from the correct location. Good job, guys. Claps for everybody. They are killing it tonight, Christy. Well, we got a .com. Kinnaird College. I'm not familiar. Kinnaird. Kinnaird College is where we are. I just don't know where that is. Do I feel a new record coming on? I don't know. We got some good numbers posted on the board right now. Our last record, 24,834. I think, I mean, obviously we have to try to beat that because we've got that perfect record in there. I know it's all thanks to Anya. We do miss her. There's a Kinnaird College for women in Pakistan. Really? Would it be written in English? I guess. Images look similar. Yeah, I mean, here's their logo. They've got like a crest with the globe or something on it. Okay. Pakistan. Oh, wait. Hold on. Mike is throwing a little. Edinburgh. We got a lot of people going Pakistan. Lahore. All right. I'm going with the majority. Edinburgh. Thank you, Crystal. What if Mike is right and it's actually in Edinburgh? Not this time. 4,987 points, 2.9 miles off. Strong today, guys. Strong. What the? It's John's most favorite time of the year. Minnesota. Or Minnesota. Never listen to me again. Mike, come on. You are our expert on sun analysis. Positional sun analysis. You're our compass, Mike. Marimekko Cafe. And we're kind of in a Santa's village. Hulu Jolupkin Lajadatalo. Lapland. Lapland, Finland. Laplandia. Laplandia. It's above Estonia. How come nothing's showing up here? I need some directional. North, says Mike. Okay. I'm north. But I'm seeing the border of the country, right? Yeah. I mean, this is it. This is as far north as I can go. It's got to be in here somewhere. Is it? It's not this one, is it? Rovaniemi? Ah, there it is. This one. All right. Gotcha. Laplandia is an area, not a city. Okay. Fingers crossed. Second blink. Boom. That's where he wanted it. 4.7 miles. 4,978 points. We had 4,900 scores on every one today. Let's see. Last week's total, 24,834 points. What do we have now? 24,950. Guys, 50 points off of a perfect. Claps in the chat. 24,950. On July 22nd, 2022. We will never forget this day. Claps in the chat, everybody. Yeah. Oh, goodness. All right. I guess we gotta maybe see about this new thing. What's this new thing? What's this new thing that some people, I think some people might be excited about? I don't know. Let's see here. Look at the road. Oh, sorry. Got a little distracted there, guys. We do have a lot of water around us right now. A lot of water around here. You guys worried? Okay. Fluff? Look how fast we're going, Fluff. You see that? That's right. 88 miles per hour. All right, everybody, welcome to Fluff to the Future. Some of you may know about this, may not know about. Autumn Fall says, I need a barf bag. Fluff was super excited about this. There is a new game that has come out. And if Fluff's excited, I think a lot of you cat lovers out there might be excited. It's called Stray. We're just going to check it out a little bit today. Let's just see. Let's take a little look with Fluff. Why would Fluff want to play this game so badly? Is this an intro movie, Fluff? What? Scary. Oh, goodness. We got little kitty cats. We got cats. Are fish involved? I don't know. Oh, that's it. We're playing. No intro movie. That was the intro movie just showing up. Look it. It's Fluff to the Future. There's a meow button. They're not in danger, are they? I don't think so. I don't know. I have not played any of this. We're experiencing it together for the first time. Okay, so it's giving me prompts. There's obviously things I can do with these other cats. Don't get Fluff wet. Yeah, Fluff doesn't like the water, that's for sure. All right, Fluff, where are we going? Over here. Ah. All right. Interacting with his kitty friends. Wow, the animation is super cute. Oh, kisses. They did a great job on that. Okay. So I can talk. Oh, I'm gonna take a nap with my buddies. Oh. Now it's nighttime. Take them out of the rain. We're in a cute little cave. You want some fluff? We will be besties forever. I agree, Debbie. The animation is awesome. When the trailers for it came out, like, it was the first thing that grabbed my attention. Was just like, I don't know if they motion capped. Can you imagine that, putting a motion capture suit on a cat? They did some amazing analysis to get all the movement good like that. Oh, well, thank you, Zombie Sauce. Look at that. Billy Boy Blue, thank you for the 2. Appreciate it, brother. Wind blows, fire burns, lightning strikes and falls. Trying to kind of get this screen in a good place. Got a bigger screen here I can watch it on, but I want to see you guys too. There you are. Get over here. You guys get over here. I've quite done a setup like this before. All right. I'm here with my bros. What's up? Okay, we're all talking. They're answering me back. Okay, so one of the buttons gives me a zoom view. Okay, it's doing training right now. So. This is pretty beautiful. Like, the graphics are really, really pretty. The environment and the animation is great. My shadow cupcake thinks it's food time. Oh, yes. Yes. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Left, right. Oh, you have to... You gotta pop left, right. Scratch those claws. Yep. Crystal Donovan says, Sebastian, her cat, is reacting to the sounds. Jenna says, her dog is confused. How long do I have to scratch this tree? Until I hit Y, I guess. Because what if I want to keep scratching? What if I go right, right? Oh, no, you got to alternate. Just like the cats do. Perfect. It's... I don't know if it's a boy or girl. It's a fluff. And there's a reason why we had to time travel. We're not really seeing it yet, but I'm pretty sure this is a future environment. Orange kitties are usually male. That is very true. Although, interestingly, in the shelter that my wife volunteers at, they had a litter, and three orange kitties came out that were all female. Chloe is going nuts in here too, and I don't even think she can hear anything. Chloe, you can't hear the kitties, can you? You just hear me talking about kitties? All other pets are reacting. Fiona is still in a pot. Not a care in the world. Okay. If I could drink water puddles. Billy Boy Blue just pumping the donos today. Thank you so much. Do you like pina coladas? And cats walk in the rain. I don't know if that's a lyric, but I like it. Okay, how do I... Okay, A to jump down, A to jump up. Gotcha. You give me some attention. You give me some attention too. Look at this environment. Oh, someone's singing? Is that one of you guys singing? I want to be on the rail. Hold A to chain jumps. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Nice. You know what's really, really good about this, even if you're not like a gamer necessarily, the controls are actually fairly simple. And yeah, like I can't, like, even if I want to fall off this, it's not letting me. Because a real cat wouldn't just go jumping off the edge there. And things like that, like for getting across those pipes, you just hold A down. And Fluff really handled all the jumps from there. This is on PC. It's currently available on PlayStation also. I thought it was going to be on Xbox. I went looking for it today and it's not. So right now, I think there might be an exclusive where PlayStation has it for a period of time. It might come to Xbox, but I'm not seeing anything that confirms that. A new GeoGuessr mode. Hold left trigger to observe. Okay. Let's see what you guys are doing. I'm gonna jump down. I'm gonna jump over here. We're gonna jump over here. Nice. Look at these cutscenes, too. Ooh, scary music. Gwen says, I just got back from the store. What is this? I need it. This is Stray. Available for PC and PlayStation. I think it is, Gwen. It's $29.99. Oh, that's all right, Bridget. Thanks for stopping by. $29.99. I think it's about a 4-hour game. So not full retail price, not full retail length, but super adorable and just really fun to... These interactions, like how the cats interact with each other, being able to scratch a tree, meow. Jumping is super easy. The graphics are like, it's really... Oh, no. Fluff's hurt. We took a fall. No. No. What? What happened? He's away from his friends and he's hurt. He can't walk. Why are those bags moving? Do not tell me. I feel some rescuing coming on. Am I gonna have to go in there and get my buddies out of the bags? I want to cover Fluff's eyes. I just hugged my cat. She wasn't impressed. Okay, alright. Are we okay here, bud? Yeah? Okay. Okay. Are these those bags? Open them up. Open them up. Are they just moving because of the wind? Okay. Okay. Whoa, hello. Why do I feel like a zombie's going to appear at any moment? Does he get 9 lives? I'm sure he has 9 lives. What? What are those little things? Okay, I can't quite jump up here. These bags have me concerned. There we go. There's a camera. Welcome to the Lord and Arts YouTube channel. It's nodding when I talk at it. Okay. There's a lot of environment going on with this. Scary little robots rolling around. You take care, Lane. I don't know, Kubi. I don't really... Right now, it's really just moving through it. I don't know if I'm looking for my kitty family that I was hanging out with before. Maybe. I think we got separated from the fall. Oh! Oh, now I'm really being a cat. I want to break more stuff. Come on. Well, I think we just found our answer. We're here to help someone. No, I haven't seen Bunny the talking dog. Okay, we got more stuff in here. What? What? Look at this smart kitty. I'm carrying a bucket. My cats don't carry buckets. Alright, I hear water running around. I'm carrying a bucket. I'm figuring that these things are going to have to come together at some point. But I don't know where. Hey, hey! There we go. Alright, little puzzle element. Hey, New Zealand Mysteries. Oh, that's a good kitty. Knock everything off that you can. Is that just for fun, or is there a reason for these? Am I going to use them all up just having fun and then... Oh, come on. No, keep going. Do you see his little paw animation when he's doing it? I'll try to get it from the front. Oh. Alright. Knock down all the paint cans. Oh, there's another one. Good one. All right. There's some robot or something. Why sending this message that follow me? Oh, I'm going to tear up this rug. Yes. Lissy Cat, it's really, so far it's been a little bit of a puzzle game just in terms of moving from one area to the next. Like, see, there's this arrow telling us we got to go this way. Sometimes there's little things you have to do. I think it's going to ramp up in terms of the difficulty of that. I don't know if, like, drinking water, does it replenish health or anything? It's just, it... Ooh. Yay! I just love that I can make a meow whenever I want. Oh, there's those little robots again. You get away from me. Uh-oh. Fluff. There's no instructions, Naders. Huh? So cute. Oh, he doesn't like. Not if you have a PC. Oh, shoot, I missed. Get off me. Oh, no. What did I miss about running? I missed what it said about running. No, I'm not playing the whole thing right now. I just want to see what this cue was about running. Hold right trigger. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Get you guys. Too fast. Come on. My Call of Duty skills? You can't touch me. Oh no! Oh no! Oh! Get off me. Woo! Off. No! Not on my head! Alright. Oh, no! Oh! They're like cat suckers. Get off me. No! This is leveling up in terms of difficulty. It's really just, you gotta keep weaving. Boom! Little cat suckers. Follow me. Chinese food up here? Kitty likes some Chinese food. These sounds are so cute. Here? this way? Claw and order. I love that. Did you guys hear that terrible story about that parking? The guy that was reserving parking for the Law and Order show? Someone came up and shot him 5:30 in the morning. And they're actually considering, they think that it might have to do with people in the area being so annoyed about the parking being used by the productions like that. Crazy. Yeah, just a guy working like a guy that kind of works security. He shows up in the morning because they shoot around Brooklyn, and he holds spots. Like, he'll take a bunch of cones and he parks his car in the middle of it and then like ropes off a side of the street for the production to park at. And he was just sitting there in his car waiting to start their day. Someone comes in, and I don't know if they pull him out of the car or if they shoot him in the car. I think he might have been shot in the car, but... Whoa. Oh, got a little powerful meow here. Alright, so it wants me to get up on this rope somehow. Get up on that rope. There's another board over there. I wonder if I need to knock that down. Oh, I can move it. Alright, so just move it to the side. Pretty clever. And then jump up on it. And jump up on this. There we go. Ooh, really? Can I make that jump? All right. Whoa. Goodness. Yeah. When I first saw it, I just saw, you know, shooting on Law and Order set, and I was like, oh no, I thought it was another, you know, like a gun that wasn't supposed to be loaded or something like that. Teresa Ann, thank you so much for the $10. All right, I'm gonna go. Whoa! Oh! I'm gonna keep going until the next like kind of video segment, and then we'll call it a day from there. So I do want to save some of this. Supposed to fall, but how am I getting up there to push it? I came backwards, didn't I? Yeah, I think I need to go further. No, can't get up over here. Actually, this might be a good point here. I'm kind of stuck, so I'm just going to go ahead and save it up here. Goodness. Just pulled me right in. Oh, that's right. We got to get back somehow. Back in time. right, guys. No background. Yeah, honestly, I want to play it more too, but I'm gonna hold off. I'll make sure that I don't play it unless I'm here with you guys and Fluff. So, a big thank you to everyone for hanging out with us in Secret Studio. Hope you guys liked the little overtime, little extra hang that we did on Fluff to the Future. Maybe I'll even make a little opening graphic or something. You like that, Fluff? Fluff to the Future? He blinked, so that's a yes. Oh, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. We are going to be off next week. However, Seriously Mysterious will still come out Tuesday. We'll be back the week after that. We're recording a new episode of Crime After Crime. Another excellent story there. And I'm really having fun with the HelloFresh ads. We've got a special HelloFresh ad for you guys in this one too. So I'll see you guys. So no Secret Studio next week. We'll be back the week after that. I'll miss you guys. Hope you miss us too. Come back. We'll see you very soon again here. Thank you, moderators, on the Lord and Eric's channel. Bye.